Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with our F222 Teo Porsche career mode, this time round for the penultimate feature race of the season. And yes, we could be world champion here today. Felipe Drugovich has to outscore us by at least 15 points as we head into the penultimate feature race of the campaign. Yep, 3 races to go of this season. We've got the race here today once more from the Temple of Speed, and then 2 races in Abu Dhabi next weekend, and I would really love to go into Abu Dhabi with the championship all sealed up. Of course, if you missed out on the video that went live yesterday from the sprint race here from Monza, the Temple of Speed, I mean, it's the Italian Grand Prix on F122. It's always chaotic. Yesterday was no different. I would highly recommend going back and checking out. And I just want to say a massive thank you to all of you for the insane and continued support on the channel as we head into 2023. Of course, you know, we've got a lot of work, a lot of plans, a lot of different things going on this year. So yeah, definitely want to get yourself subscribed and come along for the journey. But let's do this thing then. Italian GP feature race. Fingers crossed we can try and make ourselves champion here today for ART.
Welcome to the second sprint race of the day. This is shaping up to be another fantastic weekend. The drivers are almost ready as their teams complete last-minute checks before they get out on track. Let's look at the grid order for today's race while the cars make their final preparations. A fantastic effort from Jan Daruvali yesterday puts him on pole position. And it's Jack Doohan in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid we have Cordial, Armstrong, Richard Verschoor, Novalak, Hauger, Drugovich, Lawson, Callan Williams, Phipps, Nissani, Marino Sato, Bullock Bassi, Hughes, Awasa, Sargent, Ollie Caldwell, Fittipaldi, Pourchaire, Vesti, and Ralph Boschon completes the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Right, well here we are then on the grid, ready for this feature race from Monza, and big pressure on us today. Of course, the championship can be settled. Gonna go with the mediums to the softs. We want to be really quick later on in the afternoon, but I mean the slipstream, of course, is so potent around this circuit that it probably isn't going to make a huge world of difference no matter which way you go. Very overcast, though, around this Italian GP, but of course the track that Felipe Drugovich crowned himself champion in real life might be the track where he loses the title here today. Starting P20 once again, we've got a lot of work to do. We only have to finish P5, and that'll be it. Championship done and dusted. Drugovich has to finish P3, and if I'm not mistaken, he's starting P8 on the grid as well. So either way, he's got a lot of work to do, but he did make forward progress yesterday. Gian Daruvali leads us away from the pole. Oh, it's been such a long season here in F2. The pressure is really getting to me, and I know it doesn't even have to be wrapped up today, but I would love to go into Abu Dhabi with a championship crown on this young man's head there, as purple score on the lineup, pretty much perfect there. Right, let's do this thing then. F2 Italian GP feature race, 5 red lights from the Temple of Speed. Lights out, and away we go there, and starting on the hard compounded tyres, we've really just got to dump the throttle as we head down towards them on there. Fred Vesti will immediately swap past me, Ralph Boschon as well. We're trying to look around the outside, both of them starting on the softs. As you can see, Ollie Caldwell, just like in the sprint race yesterday, he's going to try and go for a big aggressive send down at turn 1 there. 3 wide in front of me, plenty of contact between Caldwell and Awasa off the exit of turn 1, but we have made progress there, getting our way past Enzo Fittipaldi side by side with Logan Sargent as we head through the next couple of turns here, wheel to wheel with the young American, of course, Williams driver in just a few weeks' time now. Was big contact between Ayumu Awasa and Ollie Caldwell. They're down into the next chicane. We just tried to avoid it at the last moment, as I had no idea where the Campos and the Dams car would go, and surely now Awasa can have the box at the end of the opening lap, so we need to make sure we navigate him as quickly as possible here. But yeah, another very good start to this feature race. Exactly what we need, of course. We just want to be trying to stay close to the cars in front. Like I said, Monza probably the circuit where tyres really, you know, the pace difference is probably at its absolute minimum, as Awasa, despite losing his front wing, has just somehow gone right around the outside of Ollie Caldwell there. We tried to look for a run on the Campos car on the exit of the turn. We're not going to make that happen, as where is Awasa been able to find that sort of downforce in his dams car here. Will Caldwell be able to have a look to the outside in towards the final corner? Yes, he will. As we've still got Sargent trying to make moves happen on ourselves. That big wheel-to-wheel contact again between Iwasa and Caldwell, though, out in the final corner. And will we see Iwasa peel into the pit? They know he won't. Ayumu Iwasa is going to try and stay out then, despite the fact he's got half a front wing. Clearly hasn't been meatball for it. There, as you can see, Caldwell going to just try and sit defensive in towards the first corner. Are we going to get 2 for the price of 1? Down in towards the first turn. Very, very late on the brakes there. Momentarily 3 wide. But while parking on the apex of turn 2. And just like in the sprint race yesterday, then we're up to P16 by the end of lap 1. Now we're under a lot of pressure, though, still from Caldwell on the exit of the turn. We couldn't get the best run out of the first chicane there. Are we going to see Caldwell have a look to the outside in towards the second chicane? Yes, we will. But we'll cover him off once more. Yuri Vips already a second and a half up the road, though, so we've got to try and close back in. It's a big, big gaggle of cars just up the road then. Looks like, again, we've kind of seen the field split into 2. This time around, Ollie Caldwell going to have a look back to the outside of myself. Will Iwasa be able to get the run there? We're going to force him. We're going to force ourselves defensive there. Force him to the outside, in towards turn 1, and again a battle of who is the latest on the brakes. Trying to get a contact that time around. I think with Iwasa as Caldwell will lose this place. Just see this battle pack extends probably close to the top 10 here. I mean, there might be a question of an aggressive strategy in just a few laps, but early on we've just got to try and keep it clean and tidy, and if we get any opportunities like it almost we did there, Yuri Vips just caught in this big old train, we've got to take him. We need a champion's drive today if we want to try and take this crown. Still see a couple of cars side by side up the road there as Nasani, and Dennis Hauger, I think that is. Nasani, of course, still waiting for his first points of the year, as look at how bad a run Yuri Vips will get off of Ascari there. Of course, all of them just Constantine it up behind the Prema and the Dams car, as Richard Bashaw now trying to look for a move on Nasani as well. Vips will have a look at the inside of Jay Hughes. We are just on wreck avoidance still early on in this race, but again we'll be able to get the run off the corner on Yuri Vips there. Now we're both going to be trying to battle for the slipstream as Richard Bashaw lacking a bit of momentum as we head back down towards turn 1. Sato now trying to get in the mix as well, and is it going to require a bit of a send on Vips? He thought about trying to cover me off, but we'll get at the inside of not 1 but 2 in towards the first corner there. Sato takes way too much curb there, and we'll get round the UNI Virtuosi car as well, as there was a tiny bit of contact between us, but didn't feel like I'd been overly aggressive there down in towards turn 1, but we will get past Sato as well, and I think that was, accidentally a triple overtake down in through the first corner. Sato again thinks about it, but you've got to absolutely fling the car into the braking zones as late as we dare on the brakes, but we are now P13 where we finished yesterday. Hopefully it's not going to be unlucky today. Oh, it looks like there's still an aggressive battle going on though between Hauger and Roy Nasani there, and Roy again is going to lose the places, so the Dams driver not quite able to position his car where he needs to, as we just run a little bit wide out of Ascari, but I still need to try and get around these cars as quickly as possible there, as you can just see. And Nasani desperately wants his first points of the year. It has been a tough old campaign for one of Formula 2's most experienced drivers here as we head down to start lap 6 of the GP. Are we going to see him focus in on attack, or is he going to try and defend there as Richard Bashaw looks for a move on Dennis Hauger? The problem is we're both gaining on Hauger there, as down in towards cell 1. Nasani is going to go for it on the young Norwegian driver as we try and head out of the first turn. Whoa, big wobble off of the first corner, and again we can't do anything with it. We just seem to constantly be in the wrong place at the wrong time. As a look immediately, the gap for Shaw's opened up. I can see one of the MP Motorsport cars battling it out for a podium, but I don't know whether it's Drogovic or his teammate there, of course. Clement Novalak had a pretty good qualifying yesterday, so he did start, I think, up in P6, I want to say, ahead of Drogovic in P8. Don't do a Lewis Hamilton, Matt. Please, whatever you do not do a Lewis Hamilton there. Sato, again, will sit on the exit of the corner. They're trying to defend the position. Well, Mark, absolutely right. We need to stay in focus here as to the outside of Sato will go. Will we be able to do anything down in towards the Ascari chicane? You can see they're still battling just up the road there. And look at that, Sato so early on the brakes, they're able to swoop clean around the outside of the young Japanese driver. And now we're trying to apply pressure to Hauger again. It just all keeps going on, and it feels like it's going round and round in circles. Oh, here we go. Hauger, Nasani and a handful of others though into the pits at the end of lap 6, so that's going to give us a bit of clear air. Because yes, Fred Vest is in, so I'm going to box then at the end of this one. We're going to box one lap early, try to go even longer on the soft compound of tyres. Oh, nice rear lock in there. I think we locked up all 4 wheels pretty much in towards turn 1, but able to cadence brake our way out of it. Right, and lap 7 then we are going to peel into the box at the end of this one. And so is everyone else in this GP. Make sure we get the car slowed down, 37 miles an hour. It was quite close, but we did certainly get it done early enough, as now we should be able to get a rough idea of where Drugovich is in this GP. You can see all those Red Bull liveried cars pulling into their box, but which MP Motorsport car is it? Just in front of us. Luckily, they're not going to do what they did at Silverstone and hold me back. But Drugovich, or whoever it is, has certainly been held up there. So he's going to try and re-emerge. And is that Drugovich? We still don't know for sure, because we've got other cars trying to fly back past us. Yes, it is. So Drugovich then has definitely been held in the pit lane, as we've now crossed over half distance. Got to make sure I light up the rear wheels on the exits. Here comes Dennis Hauger. Hauger trying to swerve at me as we head out of the pit lane there, and now we've got to try and avoid him as under pressure from Roy Nassani and Sato out of the pit. So Sato and Nassani have definitely lost out in all this. We're up to P12 though, and now we're on softer, quicker tyres to the flag, but Drugovich is way down out of position as well. He has been compromised. Like I said though, the soft tyres certainly won't have a huge pace advantage around the tempo of speed, but it will be an advantage worth having there. It's to the outside now at Dennis Hauger down the end of the back straight, and again another driver who's just so cautious on the brakes when they're defensive like that into Ascari. I think that's why we've seen so many moves around the outside there, and now every place we gain potentially puts us in slightly better stead to try and claim this championship. And look on the minimap, neither MP Motorsport car inside the top 3. It's perfect for us. We've got yellow flags out. Someone behind, I think, has got a mechanical issue. I think he might be Jake Hughes in his Van Amersfoort car. Should get confirmation in just a second. I've got no idea who it is breaking down, to be honest. It might be one of the Dams, actually. So it must be Roy Nassani's teammate, Marina Sato. Nope, it's Awasa out of the race. Well, looks like with 5 laps to go then here from Monza, Felipe Drugovich is still trying to defend for all his worth from the cars behind him there. As you can see, Lawson, I don't know which, Jan Ruvela that must be, in the Prema, just battling behind him, and Drugovich has got such a mountain to climb. He just has not been in the right place throughout a lot of this GP there, as we set new personal best for the day, still a few tenths away from fastest. But look at that cluster of cars as we head back down in towards the first corner here. We're just gleaning so much time on all of them as they continue to battle it out. And can we now move ourselves into the top 10? I think for the first time this weekend, it has really not been a particularly brilliant showing by either of the Championship 2, reminiscent of Hungary a few weekends ago, where of course we both had some issues during that GP. But Lawson now trying to apply pressure to Vachon, and you know what, we'll try and get around the outside of both of them, just about get it slowed down there, and that's how you go for a double overtake late on their brakes. Mark loving that one as well, and that was one of the most audacious moves I think I've done on F1 22 there. But this is what the F2 cars are all about, especially when you're on the softer tyres. Sometimes you've just got to absolutely send it, and that time round we did reap the rewards. 3 laps to go then, and these soft tyres still working wonderfully at the moment as Jan Ruvela trying to apply pressure to Felipe Drugovich. Got no idea what's happened to Ruvela here. Didn't he start from pole in this feature race? I think he did, didn't he? So yeah, Ruvela's had a bit of a nightmare. Vachon and Lawson still behind us, disputing that final points-paying position. But here goes Ruvela again then on Felipe Drugovich. There's a big battle going on between the other MP Motorsport car just up the road, and Drugovich very, very early on the brakes. I apologise there. Very, very audacious move on our big title rival Felipe Drugovich, and that might be the last on-track battle we have with him this season. But it's been another wild little dive bomb there. I was actually trying to avoid him, but luckily he spotted me. No contact was made between the pair of us, and we are now up into P8 of this race. And that was kind of one of the little goals I had in this feature race there, was just to beat him on the road despite starting so many places further back. The other goal I had was see if we could still finish P5, because that way it just means that whether Drugovich had the luck of the draw today and had won this, we would have still guaranteed ourselves the crown. P5 remains the goal. Oh, we've got more yellow flags out. I think someone behind us having an issue as we start the penultimate lap of this feature race. One of the Carlins. No, it won't be Liam Lawson, it'll be his teammate there, Logan Sargent. Yeah, who's really having a good weekend from Monza. But the battle between the two championship rivals is not going to be done just yet then. Felipe Drugovich to the outside as we head back down towards turn 1, but we're still on those softer tyres for now, and we will say no you don't, matey boy. We'll hang on to this place for one more lap. So, yeah, nice to get a proper wheel-to-wheel battle with Drugovich late on in the season. We've had a few this campaign, but not as many as I would have hoped for. Oh, and just over one lap to go then. Looks like the other Carlin's gone round down at Ascari, so a bit of a nightmare end to the weekend for their two drivers there, as that time round must be Liam Lawson. But yeah, as we start the final lap then here from Monza, it doesn't feel like the final race of the year, but the vibe is certainly there. We've done enough. We're ahead of Felipe Drugovich at the moment, but are we going to see any more last lap chaos there, as it looks like Amory Cordial, no, not Cordial, sorry, can't remember his name. This is the terrible commentary for the final lap of the season. I think, no, it's not Cordial, it's Clement Novalak, isn't it? That's terrible, terrible commentating from yours truly there. But yeah, really have struggled for some reason with the F2 names throughout a lot of the campaign, but looks like that Carlin is actually just slowly breaking down, never mind. Just had a bit of a spin. Are we going to get close enough to Jan Arugula to potentially try and make a move in towards the final few corners of this race? Is he going to get close enough to Callum Williams to potentially jump the trident as we head in towards Ascari for the final time? Let's just wait and see then. Make sure we get a good run out of the second Lesmo. These soft compound tyres have pretty much hit the cliff at the moment, but it looks like it's going to be Jack Doohan once again taking another victory late on in the campaign, and will once more close down a big haul of points to Felipe Drugovich. But rounding through Ascari for the final time, of course, we jumped one of the Prema cars yesterday. I think that was Jan Arugula, wasn't it, into the final corner. We're not going to be close enough today, but as we round through Parabolica for the final time, Teo Porcheri didn't quite win it in real life 2022, but this season we have been mighty consistent. An unfortunate last weekend for Drugovich was the nail in the coffin. We are F2 champion.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
A great win then for the Virtuosi team today. Tell me, Davide, what was the key to this success?
I think they kept a cool head. That's why they won today. Smooth, steady, everything bad that happened to them, they handle it calmly and professionally. That's what let them focus on getting the best out of everything else. The car, the strategy, they managed to keep out of trouble the whole way round.
Here are our podium drivers today after that excellent race. They've excelled here as they so often do, and it's a well-deserved victory. Virtuosi then are on top today. And so, driver of the day then, Davide Valsecchi, who do you think you'd go for?
My driver of the day was Teo Porcher. He did a cracking job moving through the field. Just a very good race.
On to the teams then. It was a tough race for our championship leaders who lose ground at the top of the table. Another team that will be satisfied with this race is Charus, whose good result moves them further up in the championship. Well, what a weekend that has been. Please join us next time for another thrilling instalment when Formula 2 returns.
Well, there we are then, the end of the Italian GP weekend. Round 13 of 14 we'll go into Abu Dhabi with the pressure taken off our shoulders there. Fastest lap as well meant that we scored 5 points from today's GP ahead of Felipe Drugovich somehow. Yeah, able to outfinish Felipe there, but it was always going to be a tall order for the MP Motorsport driver. Starting from 8th place on the grid there, we would have really needed a bit of luck on his side. But yeah, Jack Doohan, another victory then. Can't seem to win him from pole, but Doohan back on top there. And Amaury Cordial, he's had a fantastic weekend, finishing at P2 there ahead of Marcus Armstrong. Novalak in 4th ahead of Bollock Bassi. Williams there, like I said, Deruvala, myself, Drugovich for sure will round out our top 10. So Roy Nassani going to have to wait another weekend for his first points of the campaign there. Ayumu Wassa not making it to the flag. Both Carlins having a nightmare, finishing way down the roster. And if we have a look then, official confirmation, we are champion. Only 39 more points available, and the gap 57 as we head towards Abu Dhabi. Then Jack Doohan now just 18 points back behind Drugovich. It's going to be a tall order, but certainly not impossible if he keeps up the form he's had throughout most of the second half of the campaign. Then maybe, just maybe, the battle that we've had all year long, and Drugovich might not even finish P2. Gian Deruvala in 4th, still ahead of Bollock Bassi. Armstrong ahead of Sargent. Williams ahead of Ashore, Sato and Awassa with that good result there. Still plenty of battles further down the roster as we head into the final weekend of the year there. Cordial ahead of Novalak and Lawson and Vesti. Both of those cars losing places there. Constructors-wise, though, that has not been decided, so there is still plenty to play for as we head into the final race weekend of the year. Could UNI Virtuosi, just their sheer consistency, carry them to a Constructors' crown there? You can see Shrews jump Carlin, Van Amersfoort jump Dams as well. Looks like Campos, I think, are the only team that can't move up or down heading into the final race weekend of the year. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well. Formula 2 will return for the final time next weekend in Abu Dhabi. We're going to be starting from the back. You do not want to miss it. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members. So a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below. And yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.